and welcome to Gardening at 58 North. In this video I'd like to give you guys an update on my Penjing Ficus benjamina here. What I'll be doing is I'll be giving it a bit of pruning and maybe a bit of wiring as well if it needs any wiring. So previously this has been doing quite well. I cut it back quite hard just to reduce the growth as it was growing quite a lot out this side, not so much out this side. And basically I was trying to make it more compact and so I can start training in a nice branch structure. So looking at this, these have grown quite nice and long, but they're a bit too long, and I'm really wanting it to be quite a small tree, and hopefully a lot of branches kind of hanging over like an old ancient tree would look, with it growing over a rock, and hopefully a little pond here eventually as well. So in this video what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut back some of these longer branches, and I'm going to see if it's ready for some root pruning as well. So first of all, looking at these branches here, these two here are probably the perfect size at the moment. They don't need any pruning, but I would like some more branches to come out from here. So I'm going to prune these back quite hard to reduce the size of them because they're both too large, and hopefully that will encourage some more shoots from this side to grow, and any further branching from the buds further back would also be good. So I'm just going to cut this one off here. Turning around to this side, I'm probably going to be quite hard and cut it off around about here. There is actually quite a few little small shoots right there, so I'm probably going to cut it there. Hopefully some of those smaller shoots will be encouraged to branch out after that pruning. So that looks okay. What I will do though is put on some wires to try and get these branches facing down. I want it to look like a big old ancient tree where the branches would kind of start to hang down with age. So I'm going to try and pin some of these branches down a little bit before they get too stiff. They're still quite young, so they should be quite flexible and easily to train. So that's these two shoots now pinned down with some of the training wires. These ones I'm actually going to leave. They're still quite short and they're probably a bit too delicate to train in, so I'm going to leave them for now. So all that's left for me to do now in this video is to have a look at the root system. So what I'm really wanting from this Penjing kind of bonsai style is I'm wanting a lot more roots to come over the front here. What's happened is a lot of the roots have gone towards the back, and these ones at the front have started to die off a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to carefully scrape away at the soil to make sure these roots are still alive. And if they are, then that means I can cut the ones at the back without too much of a worry. So there does seem to be some live roots there, but there's not an awful lot. So I have to be careful when I do prune the ones at the back, not to prune them too hard. So you can see at the back there, they're quite big roots. And I have pruned these previously. This one here, for example, I've pruned off in the past, and that's encouraged some smaller branching of the roots. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off these two. I'll see if there's any more I can take off, and there's also a small one right down the bottom here, so I can even cut off this larger, fatter root as well. So I'll go ahead and cut them off. That will make the plant a lot weaker initially, as most of the resources, it won't be able to get out of the soil anymore, but it'll encourage the roots that are left to grow a lot more strongly. And these ones that I do cut, they will actually resprout new roots, and they will start branching out. So what I will do is I'll cut them off just below soil level, so it's easier for them to resprout later on. Cut that one off there. This one I'm going to cut off around about there. As I say, this is branched in the past. And there is quite a large one, which I'm going to try and cut off, and it's around about here. And that's that large one cut off as well. So this will severely stunt in the growth, but what this will hopefully mean is these few roots in the front will thicken up some more. Also some of the smaller roots at the back that I've left intact should also thicken up. And what that will mean is that I don't have to have one or two large roots at the back. It should be quite an even spread of roots. What I might do in the future is cover this up with soil to encourage a bit more root formation, because some of these really thin ones have died off and dried out. So if I cover this up with soil, I could get some finer root development. For example, this thin one here is probably a bit dry and dead, but this one here is definitely still alive, so that will thicken up quite nicely as the main roots at the back have been cut off. So I'll give you guys an update in a few weeks, in probably a month or two's time actually. And what will probably have happened is there won't be much growth on the top half of the plant because all the energy will be going into the new roots. Hopefully these two roots here would have thickened up nicely, and then it will start putting on some stronger growth again once the roots have thickened up. When it comes to this side of the bonsai, I'm happy enough with the cacti at the moment, but I might have to just kind of trim the tops of them here just to reduce the height soon, because they're starting to overpower the size of this little house. But at the moment I quite like them. They look like quite nice kind of conifers, the kind of shape that they're in. So these cacti look quite nice by this house. This one here, however, is looking a bit unusual. It's not really the kind of shape I'm wanting, so I will actually snip that one off at the base there. Take that one away, because that's no longer the shape that I want. So these two will hopefully continue growing as a nice shape. What I will do is I might take some cuttings as well. I could get maybe a couple more trees here and there, but for now that's looking quite nice, just with the two trees one either side of the house. I'll just give this a slight rotation just to make it a bit more even with where the trees are. But otherwise, I think that's it for this Penjing update, and I'll give you guys an update in probably a couple of months' time.